Hey guys, Tyler here. In this video, I want to give you an update on the eviction moratorium. I just came across a news article that was talking about how they're seeing a spike in eviction filings in the state of Maine. So I want to show you that, and I want to show you what implications this potentially could mean in the coming days and months as we continue to see this unfold for the rest and the remainder of the year. So let's go ahead and let's start with taking a look at this here article. I'm going to just play a quick clip of this.
Thing in common, salaries that can't keep up with rent.
It's literally driving people to the street. And because of the market, again, they're not able to find someplace else.
On a daily basis, we're receiving anywhere from 3 to 5 calls of people seeking services and wanting to be on wait lists because they're impending evictions.
We're in a perfect storm, I think, and we're left without too many options that will save lives moving into cold weather in May.
So what they're talking about here in this video was, at least here in Maine, they're seeing a spike in evictions, and what they didn't say is it was 3 times the normal rate that they've seen in the last few weeks since basically the expiration of the moratorium. But what I found was interesting is that sheriff indicated that they were all the same in regarding to that their salaries were not in pace with the rent. So there's been increases in rents. In other words, having people move out. They may have not necessarily been behind on rent, but they're increasing their rents because prices have increased so much that the prices for rental properties have outgrown the salaries of these renters. They also indicated, if I go through here, the rate of evictions increased by 3 times. So I want to take you over here to the national estimates of evictions here, and they've been keeping track of this, and it only goes up to 2016, but we can use this as an indicator to really tell us what's going on and what could this mean for the future here. Okay, so if we look right here, for the years, we have the renter-occupied households. As of today, this only goes up to 2016, but there are about 43 million renters in households. 43 million households that renters are occupying that. And then we have eviction filings and the number of evictions. So we have 2 rates here. The number of eviction filings, people that are actually just filing for the eviction, and then either the renters catch up on rent or they make a deal with the landlord and they work things out and they're able to stay in their home. And that tends to be about 2/3 of the time the landlord and tenant are figuring things out in a traditional market. And then we have here the eviction rate, the actual evictions that take place. They are hovering around 3%. Around 3%, and they started to decrease over the years. So you can see here is the actual evictions that were filed. Number of evictions, 800 as of 2016. 898,000 evictions. So what I wanted to do is, if we take this number and we simply take 3 times the actual eviction, we're roughly going to come up with just under 3 million evictions. So here's what's happening in the market right now. We've seen price appreciation go through the roof, over 15% just in 2021 in a national level. So we had 12% in 2020. So over 25% increase in values in property. So when values increase, so do rents for the most part, and we see rents also increasing. So we have homes values increasing. So we have landlords that may say, I want to be done with this and I want to sell the property and cash in on the equity in the house. Right now in discussion in Congress is increasing the capital gains tax from 20 to 25%. If that does happen, if they're talking about that, you could potentially see a rush of sales of evictions and landlords selling their property simply to cash in and not have to pay that extra 5% in capital gains tax. So we could see an increase from there out of the 3 million evictions. We could see landlords just simply causing higher rents, getting them out because they're behind on their payment and wanting to get new tenants in there because, quite frankly, even though there is an increase in rents, there's still a demand for these properties. So we're seeing an increase in that demand, which means they could just hang on to it and rent it at a higher rate. So with all that being said, here's what I expect to happen. We're not going to see a bum rush for new listings on the market. As of right now, there are, let's see, right, according to the National Association of Realtors, right here, we have just under 6 million. In the month of July, we had 6 million homes sold. Okay, that is where it's been on average prior to 2020 up to here, 6 million. So on average, it was around 5 million. That's still under the average of what we need for housing units. So there's still a huge demand for homes. So if we see this influx of over, let's say half of the homes go for sale. I don't even see half. Let's say 1 million. 1/3 of all these evictions taking place. We have these people coming out. We have new people. 2/3 of maybe are going to re-rent. The 1/3 of landlords are probably going to sell and cash in and want to cash in. So we're going to increase the inventory in the market up to 7 million potentially homes available for sale. Well, if you look under in my last video that I just did, I pointed out that we have a monthly supply of inventory of just under 3%. We have, I think it's 2.7, I believe, 2.4, 2.47. You can check out that video right here. But there is a shortage of inventory, only a 2-month supply, a little over 2 months supply of inventory. So if we have this spike in potential other properties coming up for sale, that could increase the inventories to 3, maybe 4 months. But because there is such a backlog of buyers and still a huge demand for homes, we're going to mow right through that inventory, quite frankly. So this is a potential outcome that I see happening that I'm going to continue to keep my eye on. But if we see evictions triple from what the current standards are in the United States, we could see an influx of about 3 million evictions over the next 6 months. If it were all to happen at once, I think we could have an issue, but I don't see it all happening at once right now. It's going to be spread out over the coming months. Now, I'm going to keep my eye on inventory. Is the inventory increasing? And then I'm going to keep my eye on average days on market. Those are the two things that I want to keep my eye on to see if the trend is continuing to increase, or if we're keeping same low day on markets and we're eating through the inventory very, very quickly. This will be an indicator to see if this is going to be more long-term or a short-term influx in properties that are going to be eaten through by potential buyers. So I'll keep you informed. If you like videos like this, please hit the like button, subscribe. I really appreciate. Love you all. We'll see you in the next video.